Hi, good evening. I'm Luis Barbosa, Solution Architect Manager here at Blue Orange Digital. And today, we're going to talk a little bit about how to use structured data with LLMs. So let me share my screen. And of course, you can use structured data to fully customize and full-blown training on your LLM. We do some fine tuning, but for today, we're going to focus on simple thing as prompt engineering. So we can give context to the LLM to work with structured data and see how it can perform, right? So let's start with a simple example here with ChatGPT. And I'm going to ask ChatGPT, and in the example here, I'm going to use ChatGPT 3.5. Same thing would be if you even use ChatGPT 4. But anyhow, if you ask to ChatGPT fetch up-to-date data, as we're going to request here the exchange rate between Brazilian reais and US dollars, and also the Brazilian stock market index, Bovespa, for the last few months, it's going to say is that, oh, sorry, I'm up to date to a certain point in time, and I was not able to fetch the data. That's fair enough. That's expected as a pre-trained LLM. So let's try something similar with Bing. And Bing, as you know it, Microsoft's integrated with ChatGPT. But the main thing on top of it is that Bing, of course, has access to a significant number of indexed websites that's now integrated with ChatGPT. And if you ask exactly the same question, we're going to have a very different experience here. So Bing is fetching some of the websites to try to leverage that structured data they're looking for. So here it is. It got at least summarized data what we're looking for. It's access some websites here as it show in real time and fetch that data. And not only that, as it realized that the data in particular that you're working here, it's a time series, it will even do or show something it's more than expected. It created a whole line chart showing that data that got. So let's try something even more challenging. Let's ask Bing to inference information or try to forecast the data. And right now, the Brazilian stock market, it's about a little over 120,000 points, and the exchange rate, it's close to 4.90, right? 4.80 something, 4.9. So let's ask Bing to do a little forecast for us. So what would be the expected value of the exchange rate once the stock market reach 130,000 points? So of course, it's a challenge question, and to be fair, it's a toy example here. It's not really possible to predict exchange rate based only on the stock market index. But anyhow, Bing gave a fair instance saying exactly this. It's not possible to do this inference only with that data. So let's ask Bing something more specific. So let's ask it to create an inference model. So create some code or however you prefer, to even if the data is not enough to do a precise prediction, let's ask it to create at least a simple inference, right? To create a code to create a simple inference or something like that. So let's ask now to create an inference model that can do this forecast for us. Consider that you know the limitation and the considerations that the base data of stock markets not enough to predict the exchange rate. But anyhow, even with that, Bing wasn't able to do the test, right? So let's try more or less same experience now with Google Bard. And Google Bard proposes the opposite. For a lot of questions that involve structured data and fetching data, in some cases, it's naturally evolves to a code generation. And in some cases, it asks you to get that code and run elsewhere, or even run it on the fly. So let's force it saying that without generating code, please go get the data. Let's try it again. Here it is. It's forcing code anyhow. It's no problem. Let's ask it to save it as Google Sheets. And that's nice. It makes the possibility of saving as Google Sheets. In some cases, generate the code. In some other cases, it simply show it directly, something like this. And from here, we can access or export directly to Google Sheets, which it's fine. Either way, it's fine for us. And then let's see what it does when we ask it to the value expectations. So I try one more time. Yeah, that's perfect now. So it's fetched the data, show on the screen, didn't exactly directly generate the code, and even enable to export all this data as Google Sheets. So you can use it if you wanna somewhere else, export it, do coding, whatever you prefer, if you wanna handle that data. But now let's follow the very same question that we did to the other LLMs. So let's ask it what would be the expected exchange rate based on the stock market index, reach whatever value. And for that, similar to Bing, it says it's not possible to estimate given the constraints and the amount of information that I have here. But again, it's totally fair answer. But anyhow, if you could continue this toy example here, we can ask to create an inference model, probably a linear regression. So based on the stock market exchange rate or index, predict the exchange rate. So let us ask specifically now to generate code, create an inference model. So it creates the code. And then run on the fly the code, and based on the code here, with the data generated, so the expectation rate, of course, it's a simple model, it's far from the reality, it's showing an expected exchange rate quite far from reality, but anyhow, it actually did what we asked it for, right? So it fetched the data, it created the inference model as a simple linear regression code, and not only created that code, it ran that code for us and generated that output. And actually, if you force this strategy on code based, I have it here. I have it here, the spreadsheet that generated publish as a CSV file over the web. Here it is. It's very same Excel spreadsheet, similar to this one. I have it published already. So if you force this strategy of creating code and maybe running the code, we could induce Bing also to do a similar task, right? So I could ask Bing to do something like, based on this data set, generate a Python code that creates a inference model, a linear regression model, right? So let's get back to Bing. And so Bing can get up to speed with Bard. So, and yeah, So we get a very similar result, right? Probably only difference is that Bing won't be able to execute this code directly, but I guess it's fine. Generate a code very similar to what we had with BART. And if you get that code and run elsewhere, we're going to have a similar inferred value. Again, it's a toy example here. It's not really possible to predict the exchange rate based on the market index. But as an example, how to use LLM to fetch uh, structured data and also process structured data based on the structured data that you provide. So a database from a company or data that you have available within a company. If you feed that information to LLM, and probably in order to process that, it can generate the code in some cases, or depending on the LLM that you're using, you'll be able to execute that code on the fly and answer, for instance, business questions that you have, combine it also with unstructured data, right? So that's the main point that I wanted to discuss here with you guys today. So I hope you like it. So see you next time. Bye bye.